but that has been long ignored. And this is where OneThread comes in. I'm Erfanul Rashik, co-founder and CEO of OneThread. Welcome you with this presentation where we are going to talk about how OneThread is going to help these companies manage their projects. So after talking to more than 300 similar businesses, we realized that more than 80% of them are still managing their projects on Google spreadsheets and Excel files. That leads to a scattered workflow because your information is scattered over different shares, Google Drive, WhatsApp, and whatnot. That means you can't really track progress. That also means you can't really make people accountable and make sure that all the deadlines that they were supposed to meet has been met. But also means that there is not a lot of data security within the solutions as well. But then there are existing solutions out there in the market, right? But these solutions are designed for tech companies. That means this onboarding and learning curve is very stiff for these small to mid-sized companies, especially in this part of the world. Secondly, coming at a price point of $8 to $10 per user per month is just not feasible for these companies that they can't really afford it. And thirdly, they don't really provide you with the customization, localization, and onboarding training that this company really require, not only to sell, but to actually implement the solution throughout the organization. This is where OneThread fits in nicely. It is the easiest solution to use. We have already seen that we have been able to carve down the onboarding time by 50% compared to any other competitor in the market. You can see we already have the basis covered in terms of discussion, task, projects, and it's a fairly intuitive UI. Secondly, starting at $3 per user per month, it is the most affordable solution out there in the market, comparing with any international competition as well. And lastly, we provide them with the customization and onboarding support that they really need to actually make their employees use this on an everyday basis, right? So we go a step further. We actually help these companies to get their suppliers, vendors, and partners into this platform and even work with them in particular projects. And you don't even have to use another solution to do that. But even if you are an enterprise and you want something custom, because everyone wants their own custom solution, you can just put in some small commands and create your own custom workflow within a few minutes in OneThread as well. In terms of the market has been growing. Like post-pandemic, work from home has been a cultural change. And this has meant a lot more companies going up and taking up solutions like this. This is why this market is supposed to grow 5x over the next 5 to 6 years. But even if we look into our small niches, as in within small agencies and in Bangladesh market, you can see that small niche is still a huge market and a huge opportunity for us to tap into. As I've already mentioned, competition, to be honest, even though intuitively it seems like we should be competing against the ClickUps and Notions and Jiras of the world, we are mostly competing against WhatsApp, Google Sheets, and Excel files. That's the bottom line, market reality, to be honest. But compared to them, we already have the automation and we give you updates and everything. We are the market maker in Bangladesh as well, and we provide you with the localization and price point, and that makes us stand out within the competition. So we have grown quite a bit over the last 6 months. This is the first month where we have registered $1,000 recurring monthly revenue, which is a big milestone for us. For the 1,300 registered users, there's two things that are very important to know. First, this is not only from Bangladesh. We have users from UK, Germany, Singapore as well. But also, almost 90% of this is completely organic. So basically, people reached out to us through our content or our personal branding as well. In terms of the team, I look after mostly business and sales and investment side of things. Siam, with his extensive experience with content, looks after product marketing. And Robert, again, he looks after the tech side of the things because he has that expertise covered. We have already raised $50,000 in our pre-seed round. We got $20,000 in grant from ID and GP as well. We are raising $120,000 right now because the earlier round was used to take the product from MVP to now, but now we want to use this round to actually excel our growth significantly. So what we are going to actually do with the product and the investment, right? Everyone wants to see just the one number, is how much you're going to earn with it. So we are absolutely confident that we'll reach $5,000 MRR by the end of this year. While that might sound a bit optimistic, but the deals we have in POC or in trial, even if 50% of those deals go through, we'll absolutely 100% reach that milestone. That means that we become a cash flow positive company and a profitable startup from that point onwards, something that is almost unheard of in SaaS world. But we need your support to get to that $15,000 MRR and then $30,000 MRR. And to be honest, honest, we already have that mapped out. So we need you guys to come on board, both with your investment, but also with your connections, to help us make this not only a local, but a complete global success. Because we are SaaS, we are not bounded by any geography or industry. So so we hope that you come on board and help us make this a complete global success. Thank you.
Thank you, Rashik. I already have a question from our online broadcasting, where someone basically asked, what would be your global growth strategy outside Bangladesh?
So there are two folds, right? So when we talk to agencies beyond, even in UK, Germany, we realize that even intuitively, this seems like that market is completely saturated. Most of these companies are still not using anything. So we use LinkedIn, Twitter, and email marketing to do that. That is the cost-efficient way. The more aggressive way is to go through paid ads and with agencies. The second way is to partner up with organizations, say even marketing agencies who we have pitched as client. They eventually became our partner to onboard newer clients within that market as well. So that is the first approach. The second approach is more on a bit enterprise level. In order for us to do that, we'll probably have to set up a small team there, but that is probably something we're going to do down the line in maybe 1 or 2 years' time.
If you can get secure some investment to that, that's an option.
That is probably more of something that we want to do post a VC round, because we genuinely believe that we can get to $1 million or $2-3 million ARR just in Bangladesh. So we want to first look into that, tap into that. We have a excellent advisory board as well that is helping us to, because you need connections in Bangladesh. So we already have that in place. So we want to make sure that we become a market leader in Bangladesh first, then venture out into other places.
All right, the floor is open now. You can ask question. I see hand raised back there first. Microphone will follow you soon. Just more.
Yeah. How many engineers do you have, and can you probably describe some of the engineers' profile?
So it's a very small team. It's a total team of 6 people. We completely follow Marn stack, so it's a mix of full stack developer, back-end, front-end, and if you count UI, probably not. But it's I'd say Node.js and Node.js and React is where we sort of specialize, and then we have a developer who's efficient in both Android and iOS as well. So he looks after the app development side of things.
I've seen another hand was somewhere here. Yeah.
Hi. So first of all, apologies, I just stepped out for a minute and I didn't catch the first part of your presentation, but I think what struck me are a few things. One, I think it's very bold and audacious to do workflow management sitting in Bangladesh, and while it wasn't explicit that when you began you might not have targeted the entire global market as your sort of playing ground, but you are, like you said, getting clients from all over, from Europe, etc., right? So it's nice, bravo, and I think your presentation was also very confident. You seemed like you were assured of your success in the near future, so that's great. I still want to know, and I know Siam, that's another thing that got my interest. He's worked with me recently, and I think he's great. So you have a good team, you have people who can do pitching for you overseas, etc. And it'd be lovely to see a Bangladeshi startup scale to the point where you're not just thinking locally but globally. And I think all of us should encourage that. As difficult as this space might seem, which is a segue to my question, why are people signing up other than the fact that you're using networks and relationships? You mentioned your advisory board, and that does get you far in Bangladesh up to a point. But what will make people stick to your software, your SaaS solution, that they're not getting from overseas competitors? A typical question I'm sure you've answered, but what is causing the stickiness is basically what I want to get at.
Right. So I think there are 2 segments to it. So one is purely in terms of product and the features that we build. So at first we are still, I would say, to an extent industry agnostic, but when it comes to complete SaaS and small companies, we only try to focus on marketing agency. In Bangladesh, eventually a lot of startups reach out to us, enterprise reach out to us, but we try to focus, make sure that we only focus on marketing agency. What that leads us to do is things like we are building a feature called feedback loop, which is only absolutely essential to how a marketing agency operates, because they have like, they'll make a design, then there will be feedback and everything. A workflow like that is not accommodated by any other solution that you can see in the market. That is like, one example of a feature. Then there are like, similar features that only marketing agencies need. So this is why we want to sort of make it our own niche. That is what I mentioned on the deck as well, that even that niche itself is also $100 million market. So the way we want to go about it is make sure that we become a standout player within that niche first, then sort of venture out from there. So that is one way. The second way of looking at it is, even within those markets, we realize that most companies who took up a solution, bought a solution, but never could really implement the solution throughout their organization. Because even though, like, what intuitively SaaS might sound like that, we have tutorials, videos and stuff, I said this to a lot of people. We have tutorial videos which has 50 views. We have more than 400 users on a weekly basis, because no one will watch the video when they get stuck to something. They want to give you a message on WhatsApp, or like just directly call you and say, like, this is where I'm stuck and help me out with this. This is something even agencies abroad is like, looking for, and we give them that personalized level of service. What we realize that leads to the actual stickiness in the long term within this market, because this market has long meaning growth. Most companies that we see in the international space go after that one niche market of high-tech people who can intuitively understand everything, are heavy users, so that they can spend a lot of time within solutions. We think like these two things will make us stand out within the international market as well.
Thank you so much, Rashik. All the best, Rashik and OneThread.